Hi, my friends. How are you today? So good to see you. It is I, Mrs. Holbrook, and of course, Baby Echo, and we have a 2-week unit starting up today. And we're really going to talk about how C and G can both make different sounds depending on the letters that are around them. But first, let's get started with a warm up. So, for your warm up, I'd like you to please get out your notebook, okay? And I want to practice going to the vowel teams page. It looks like this. Okay, and here's what I want you to do. Instead of you echoing after me today, I want you to go through and say them. So just pause your screen here and I want you to do the whole page. So it would look like this. AI bait A, AY play A. Okay, you don't need to always echo after me. You can look at them and say them. So pause here and do this whole page as your warm up. Okay, were you responsible? Did you really do it? Sure hope so. Next part of the warm up is some sound alikes. Okay, which one is this? What does it say? There. And it's got the apostrophe. So what contraction is it representing? That's right. They are. So can you use it in a sentence? They're having fun. They are having fun. Do another one. Okay, now how about this one? What does it say? There. And look, it's got the word here inside of it. So this one means location. Let me hear a sentence. The suffixes are over there. Tells you where something is. Okay, how about this one? There, it's got the word he in it. So this one is about ownership. Who owns it? It's their party. It's their pizza. We can't eat it. Let me hear your sentence. Awesome. Okay. So now that we've done all of our review, we're going to get into those new sounds I was telling you about. All right, watch me, come a little closer and watch me write this word. What does this word say? Race. And what does that make you think about? Maybe running in a race, the verb. Maybe it has to do with your skin color and your culture, your race. Okay, this can have many different meanings. Maybe you're thinking about in class when you're doing MCAS writing and you're using the acronym RACE. Now look at this word. What does this one say? Citizen. That's right. What is a citizen? Someone who lives somewhere and is part of that community. So I'm a citizen of the town I live in and the country I live in and the state that I live in. I'm a Massachusetts citizen. Okay, so look at this letter C. And let's remember that C says K and it says S when it's followed by E, I, and Y. Do you remember that? So C, cat, K, and then C, S after, when it's E, I, or Y is after it. That's the difference. Okay, so I'm going to write some other words now. What does this word say? Stage. Okay. And how about this one? Can you read this word? Apologize. I apologize if it's hard for you to read. And then one more. What does this one say? Apology. Okay, so remember, this unit is all about C. We had race. It sounds like an S sound because an E comes after it. We had S. citizen, it sounds like an S because I comes after it. And now let's talk about G. So remember, G says G like in game, but it says J when E, I, and Y come after it. So in the word stage, J, J, because the E comes after it. In apologize, because the I comes after it. And in apology, it sounds like J, because the Y comes after it. So I'm going to pull down these letters because we know that it's E, I, and Y. When these come after the C or the G is when they have their other sound. Let's practice this with some nonsense words, words that aren't real. Okay, here's my first word. I'm going to do. So if it has these vowels, it'll say the hard sound. We call it the hard sound, G, and the soft sound is the J. So if it has these sounds, we know it's the hard sound. So why don't we try this one? What does it say? Gan. Now, what if I change it to have an E after it? It's going to be soft. Jen. What if I change it now to have an I after it? Gin. Soft sound. Okay, let's try the O. Gone. Hard sound. Try this one. Gun. So some of these words were real and some were nonsense. Well, let's try the same thing with our C. All right. What would this one say? Cag. A comes after it, so it's the hard sound. It's K. All right, what if I change it to E? Now what? Seg. How about this? Sig. How about this? Cug. Good. So we really have to pay close attention. E, I, or Y, soft. A, O, or U, hard. Okay. I want you to get ready now to practice spelling some of these. Okay. So on your whiteboard, go ahead and grab your whiteboard. I'll grab mine. Okay, you got it? Got your marker? Great. So what says s? What are the different ways to do s? And here's how you write it. We know S says s, but then we also know C says s when E, I, or Y comes after it. And then we can just put these parentheses around it to show that it comes after. These don't say s, but this needs them to say s. Okay, let's try this one. What says J? Okay, well, we know J says J, and then we also know G says J when it's followed by E, I, and Y. Okay, so that is how we write it on dictation, or when you have a test, you're going to be able to know this too. Okay, so let's come down, let's leave that there for us to look at, and let's come down to this bottom line and do some words. Here's your first word, cinch. Oh, I'll do it in a cinch. So let's tap it out. And when we get to the sound, we're going to leave it blank until we know the rest. So we have s, I, ch. So this is at the beginning, so let's just leave it blank. And then we have the rest. I, ch. So now we can think, is it going to be an S or is it going to be a C? Well, an I comes after it, so I know a C would make the sound. So here's the word cinch. Okay, you can also write it out both ways and see which one looks right to you. And then you can always check in the spelling options or in a dictionary if you're not sure. But usually if you follow this rule, you'll be able to find the right way to do it. Okay, you ready to try some? All right, erase the bottom. I would leave that up there to help you. Here's your next word. Gentle. So we have two syllables. Gentle. We have one syllable, two syllables. The first syllable is where the j sound is. Go ahead and write out gentle. I know the ending is to, vowel consonant consonant tle, and I know it's gen like that. So it's either going to be gentle with a G or gentle with a J. So you can write them both out and look it up. You can also use the rule. It's j and an E comes after it. So the G would make the j sound. This is the right way to do gentle. Here's your next word. Cage. Cage. Pause if you need more time. I'm going to show you my thought process. K-A-J. And then I know to make the A a long A, I need to put my E at the end. So here's the J sound. J or G. Well, on this one, if I look at my list, an E is going to come after it. So I can put the G, since E comes after it, it's going to say the J sound. Here's the word cage. C-A-G-E. Okay, let's erase and try another one. City. Have you ever been to the city? Go ahead, pause if you need more time. All right, we know itty is like this. The Y says E at the end. So which one did you do for this sound? Well, an I comes after it, so it is a C. C-I-T-Y, city. Let's erase and do another. Advice. Advice. There's that. Pause if you need some time. Okay, here's my thinking. Ad is the first syllable. Vice. Well, I hear ice in it. I know it's vowel consonant E, and E comes after it, so it could be a C, just like ice is spelled with a C. Advice. Here's my advice. If you're getting bored right now, keep practicing. We're going to do like 3 more words and you're done. The more you do it, the more it becomes part of your muscle memory and your brain power. Okay, here's your next word. It's a girl's name. Cindy, like Cindy Lou Who from The Grinch. Don't forget, when it's a name, it's a proper noun, so it should be uppercase. That's right. Cindy. Pause if you need more time. I'm going to show my answer. After the C, there's an I, so it's the C. Cindy. Good. 2 more words. You're doing great. Okay, let's try. Let's do this one. Cancel. It's a 2-syllable word. Can-sul. I hear ul at the end, so I think it must be in that second syllable a consonant ele. Pause here to work on cancel. Okay, if you're back, as I was working, I realized this is a pretty tricky one. It sounds like consonant ele, but it's actually a schwa in there. Take a look. Did you write it like this? I did that at first, and it just didn't look right. So I knew this sound had to be followed by the E, and it's EL instead of LE. Cancel. Tricky. Always look it up in the spelling options if you're not sure. Let's erase, and here's your last word for today. Stingy. If you're stingy, you don't want to spend a lot of money and you want to save it. Pause until you're ready to see stingy. There you go. It's a G because it's followed by a Y. erase and clean